Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Dismuke, and today I am going to be speaking with you about Cyrenaica demands for self-determination. Now, first we must understand what self-determination means. Self-determination is the principle in international law that nations have the right to freely choose their sovereignty and international political status with no external compulsion. By extension, it has come to mean the free choice of one's own acts without external compulsion. The right to self-determination is recognized as a right of all people in the United Nations International Bill of Human Rights and of indigenous people in the Declaration on the Rights of an Indigenous People adopted by the General Assembly in 2007. Cyrenaica is the eastern region of Libya. Libya is located in the northern part of Africa, sharing its eastern border with Egypt. Cyrenaica is famously known as the birthplace of Muammar Gaddafi. Benghazi, which is Cyrenaica's capital, is the second largest city in Libya, which is also the headquarters of the NTC. Cyrenaica holds about 3/4 of Libya's vast oil reserves. This makes Libya a very oil-rich region. Cyrenaica is also the birthplace of the Libyan Civil War and was largely under the control of the National Transitional Council. Cyrenaica has suffered years of marginalization. Now let's talk about the decades of marginalization. Despite its oil-rich reserves, the people in the region of Cyrenaica have continually suffered decades of discrimination and marginalization from the central Libyan government, which brings us to the need for Cyrenaica's self-determination. For about 10 years after it became an independent state in 1951, Libya was run along federal lines, with power devolved to Cyrenaica, Hasan, and Tripolitania. Cyrenaica also enjoyed prestige and power under King Idris. But after being toppled by Gaddafi's military coup in 1969, eastern Libya was sidelined for the next 4 decades. The history of autonomy is partially driven is bid for self-determination within Libya. Marginalization and neglect of Cyrenaica's people for over 4 decades is one of the reasons for self-determination. Also, the lack of significant economic progress and development, unlike its neighboring cities of Tripolitania and Hasan. Cyrenaica's dissatisfaction with the central government in Tripoli is another reason for self-determination. Under representation of Cyrenaicans in the interim parliamentary body is another reason for self-determination. Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator who fought for Islam, and he ruled Libya for 42 years. Abdul Fattah was considered a key supporter of Gaddafi. He was a senior military officer but resigned in February 2011 and defected to the rebel side in what has become now the Libyan Civil War. The shortcomings of the National Transitional Council of Libya could be lack of transparency, a failure to protect the rights of minorities, slow restoration of public services in areas worst hit during the revolution, an unaccountable detention system, inability to bring militias under control and decommission their arms, and the torture of prisoners. The process of self-determination can be through direct negotiation by representatives of the participants, mediation through a trusted third party, the findings of an agreed upon independent tribunal, or the ruling of a recognized international court such as the International Court of Justice. The process ends with the people's consent to a proposed outcome through a referendum or some other means. Now, going through this process, the leaders of the oil-rich eastern Libya has declared it is a semi-autonomous region. And the conference elected Ahmed al-Zubar, an NTC member and the longest-serving political prisoner under Muammar Gaddafi, to lead Cyrenaica's governing council. Now, the leader, Mustafa, has threatened to force the fall to East. He is not interested in the new liberated Libya. Today, liberated Libya is at a critical juncture. The people of Cyrenaica, who have made immense sacrifices to preserve their liberty, honor, and dignity, will not be denied their request for autonomy. It needs to be taken seriously by the NTC and international community. The NTC leaders need to show great wisdom in their handling of the sensitive situation presented by the newfound leadership over thousands of Cyrenaica tribal leaders. Now, we have seen the success of federalism in nations such as Switzerland and here in the United States, and there is no reason why it cannot exist in Libya today. So today, we take a stand with the people of Cyrenaica, and we say, free Cyrenaica, end the civil war in Libya. Thank you.